Hello, everybody. Sorry about that. I couldn't tell if we were live there. So I just want to say hi there to everybody. This is our first, Unifi's first, actually, YouTube live water cooler. We've been talking about doing this for some time. This is going to be the new format that we have for how we're doing all of our community AMA touch base kind of conversations. For those of you that have not been a part of these thus far, we've been doing this for some time. We've been building up these on a weekly basis. We've done these. We started out kind of with like a more private type group, inviting people in, bringing them in to ask questions about who we are, what we're doing, how we're working, what our goals and focuses are as a company. And about 3 or 4 weeks ago, we opened this to our Telegram room on a more select basis, letting people know, like, hey, we're going to be doing these. Feel free to tune in and join. And if you're there, you caught the conversation, and if not, you kind of missed it. So this is the first one where we're recording it, obviously. This is going to be available for those that missed it. So for those of you that have never tuned in, welcome. And yeah, I'm just going to be hopping in to address any community questions that there may be out there. If you're tuned in live, please go ahead and post those. I'm going to address whatever you guys throw up there. I'm looking forward to it. And this is ultimately just an opportunity to give more insight into the company, what our goals and focus is here today. So I guess I can kind of hop in with a little bit of a recap on what's been going on. So essentially, we maybe about 2 months ago, we had a couple of community or team get-togethers based around our development team and our marketing team. We had a small summit here in Los Angeles. We pulled in the entire marketing team and basically asked ourselves, okay, what's going on now as a structured organization? What do we want to do in 2022? What do we need to change and adapt? And we did the exact same thing with development. But bulk of 2021 has kind of been set aside to basically organize the company. We have gone ahead and invested into our accounting, legal, regulatory practices. We've invested into how we operate as a company. And about 2 months ago, we decided that we are ready to kind of start throwing a little more gas on the fire here. So we set out to basically go on a bit of a hiring spree. So we the target was to hire about a person a week for the rest of the year. We're doing quite well with that. There are jobs posting every day, and I actually think a new marketing position was posted this afternoon. So that's great. So tons of open roles there, marketing, design, development, all kinds of things. So we are looking to invest. We as a company have kind of been around for a while. Starting out in 2018, we've operated fairly conservatively. We've been very mindful of kind of some of the challenges of being a company in the crypto space and how things can kind of change on a dime. One thing that we strive to do is to plan for a future. And so when I said we're building and establishing ourselves in 2021, that was to build out a roadmap, a multi-year roadmap that we felt that we could achieve, and we felt that we could support, both financially and technologically and legally, from a regulatory perspective, et cetera. And so that's where we're at today. So when I take a look at the company and where we're at, we are currently we have Unifi Protocol deployed on 8 blockchains: Ethereum, Binance Smart Chain, IOTEX, Harmony, Ontology, Icon, Tron, and Polygon. Hopefully 9 here very soon. We actually have the 9th blockchain. Avalanche has actually been in mainnet beta now for a bit over at least a week, probably more. So that is likely coming here in the very near future. So that's exciting. Also, this year we've been through a number of upgrades. I think that some of you may have caught. We launched an NFT giveaway. Thank you last week, which was great. That came along with some various upgrades throughout the year. U-Stake, referendums, U-Trade version 2, Unifi report, the Unifi token itself. And basically, we're taking these 9 blockchains, 8 that we're on today, and we're taking these concepts that we have, and the goal is to continue this type of expansion forward, add on more blockchains, more features, take features that we have and make sure that they do exist on each of those blockchains that we're on, and that's our focus. Essentially, that in and of itself is kind of what we're calling UNIFI Labs today. This is everything that we build and deploy on a blockchain is basically a UNIFI Labs concept. So that is that's where we've been active so far. Working with partners has been very key to that. And for those of you that don't know, we do 100% staking rewards when we can. So we give away as much as our nodes are allowed to on each of the blockchains that we operate a staking node. We don't charge fees for any of our trading transactions and things like that. And as we continue to grow, that's kind of the message we're looking to enforce, is basically how do we continue to build and expand our community onto more blockchains. So with that being said, I think I'm going to go ahead and hop into a question. There was a referendum actually that posted that I believe closed yesterday. So I think I'm going to go ahead and hop into that first. Let me pull it up here. Okay, so the referendum that I wanted to kind of dive into here is it was basically called Liquidity Issues Part 1. We had this posted on 10/29. It ended on 11/30, so just on the 30th, so yesterday. And we got a lot of participation, actually. We have about 32,000 plus approval votes and about 16,000 decline votes. And it's an interesting perspective. I do want to take a second to kind of dive into it. This is not one that we came up with. This is a entirely community-run initiative. There were a lot of talks about this on Twitter, on our Telegram, trying to build up some momentum around this. And I just want to take a second to kind of address some of what this touches on. So I think kind of the first thing that I want to dive into here is essentially what this is asking for is a solution to liquidity. The concept is basically that they want to focus on APR, they want to focus on more TVL, and basically more use of our U-Trade platform. So to accomplish that, they've kind of identified some issues, such as UNIFI cannot be purchased by a whale, for example, on our platform in a meaningful way. So they've suggested a couple of solutions here. The first one is basically they'd like UNIFI, specifically like us as an organization, to basically provide some liquidity to the platform itself, and basically take the rewards that we receive and use it to constantly add more liquidity to it. That was one suggestion. The other suggestion that we have as a part of this referendum is basically to go on ahead and partner with a good liquidity provider to kind of do the same thing. So I think it's an interesting proposal. It's a good. The intention is great. It's basically intended to get more awareness around U-Trade, which I think is excellent. But I think that at the end of the day, when I look at this, and I see what it's trying to address specifically, I do need to break it down a little bit. Probably the most impactful way to attract more liquidity providers to a platform is just simple APR. You know, that's simply it. It's APR within the ecosystem, and APR is, you know, based on volume. Obviously, if you join a pool, you participate within a DeFi pool, and you're there when a trade occurs, you would then earn a share of the trading fee. And since we give away 100% of that to liquidity providers, it'd be good. The downside of that is currently our token prices within the liquidity pools that we have track very well with the open market. If we look at the market prices we see of our pools today, they track very closely with, you know, Pancake, Uniswap, things like that. So I don't think that we can expect huge amounts, or I'm not seeing like huge amounts of price change or price separation from a major exchange today. And what that means is if we add more liquidity, there would obviously be more volume, but that won't necessarily result in more APR, because what it's going to do is that's going to scale the pool itself. There will be more trade volume. However, the pool will be larger. And so we won't see an impact to APR. So unfortunately, I don't see that specifically as a solution. Now, what it will do is that will actually increase the APR as it relates to the UP token. This is not something that I think is being tracked today. So if we consider basically what I'm talking about here is 8% of every trade that goes on UTrade is used to increase the value of UP, essentially. So if you have a trade that comes in and $1 is spent, maybe you get 99 cents in UP token back, and 1 cent goes into increasing the redeem value of UP, which is great. In a situation where there's low volume, but you know, the same APR, what's going to happen is fewer funds are going to go into minting UP, which means fewer funds go into pushing up the value or the redeem value of UP. If the liquidity provided is huge, then what's going to happen is there will be more funds there. So it would actually put more emphasis on the redeem the value of UP going up over time, which is basically how much native tokens that UP can be redeemed for. So I do see that, but I don't see that directly impacting the APR of the pair. The other piece that's kind of mentioned here is partnering. So yeah, that's probably the right way to go. Finding a good partner, building out a good system in which we can work with them. That's definitely something that we should focus on. We've been focused on for some time. Partnerships have been a key part of our growth so far, but today we're leveraging most of those partners to launch on new blockchains, not specifically to expand existing ones. I think that's going to be a key part of what we do in the future. So that's kind of my hot take on the liquidity issues that are put out there. Just to address that directly, a bit of an indirect kind of 2 cents on this. I personally feel this puts a lot of emphasis on UTrade as the value of UNIFI and the ecosystem itself, which is great. So UNIFI today is a fairly complex ecosystem across all of these blockchains that I've mentioned before, and I do think that it's a key part or a key demonstration of what we're doing, of the kinds of things that we can build. But it should not be considered a key pillar of the company that we intend to be. And if we take a look at the industry, there have been a lot of changes. We know that Facebook has gone through this recent rebrand into Meta. They're talking about entering the metaverse. Microsoft acquired GitHub some time ago, looking into acquiring Discord. We have Epic Games, huge, basically banks investing in blockchain technology. I think that we're going to be seeing a lot of people entering the space. And one thing that's been certain is that this space has been very adaptable and has been through a ton of change. We came in 2018 looking to dominate the staking scene at the time, which is not much of a scene today. And surely we wouldn't be here today if we were not adaptable. So that kind of became a cornerstone of what we did. We deployed the first DEX on Ontology in 2019. We took the things that we learned from that. We started to evolve our governance system on various blockchains, doing cross-chain tech and things like that. And it wasn't until 2020 that we started to actually get into DeFi. We're continuing to see ourselves take some innovative approaches to what we've identified as problems in DeFi. Things like sustainable rewards, some security issues, building on blockchains that maybe are not EVM compatible, and then taking a look at things like bridging solutions and where those will fit in. I think it's safe to say that in the future there's going to continue to be changes, and we're going to continue to see this space evolve. Now as we go into NFTs with metaverse type tech on the horizon, it's very clear to me that there's going to be a lot of very big companies out there looking to participate. There's going to be a lot of very large blockchains that are out there. And I think that the only certainty is those that are adaptable are going to succeed, and those that aren't, maybe they're not going to do so well. So going into heavily on U-Trade is great. I love the idea of investing more into U-Trade. I think that investing more into expanding our reach with our partners, preparing ourselves to be a connector of different blockchains is probably going to continue to be our primary focus. So we have a question here. I'm going to go ahead and address that since we're burning through a lot of time just talking. So I'll go ahead and jump in here. Re1 is asking something I thought about. Will super pairs be used in some way with cross-chain swaps? If they got fees from swaps between chains, it would increase APR and would help with liquidity issues as a result. Okay, so I mean, this is like nail on the head. This is great. Yeah, we built super pair on these different blockchains, on every blockchain that version 2 is on, and there's no way to earn it because UNIFI doesn't exist there. So this is a cool thing to call out, and it's true. The only way that we're going to be able to get UNIFI on those chains is with a cross-chain swap of some kind. So that's a part of our roadmap. We haven't put a specific roadmap out there today, but I think it's pretty clear to see that we've built in a lot of functionality today that is going to allow us to potentially deploy UNIFI on multiple blockchains. So that is something that we intend to do. And to be honest, probably addresses this liquidity issue better than anything else. We take a look at, kind of some of where these liquidity issues come from, and a lot of the solutions that have come out. A lot of the solutions and a lot of the new liquidity in DeFi today has come directly as a result of cross-chain solutions. You don't have to look far. Harmony's DeFi ecosystem is doing quite well today, arguably because they have a lot of bridged tokens. Polygon is in the exact same boat here. Avalanche. It's not hard to look far and see, wow, there's people that are bridging tokens from multiple blockchains. And what it does is that essentially locks up liquidity on one chain to mint it on a new chain. So it basically doubles the potential liquidity of a ecosystem. Us not being a blockchain makes us agnostic to where that comes from. So if we can leverage UNIFI token itself, and if we can leverage cross-chain swaps, that is a that's a round peg round hole solution to liquidity from my perspective, and much more worthy of investment. I think that's going to be super cool as that continues to be developed. So that's a good one. So we're coming in here. I'm not trying to go too long today. We got about 10 minutes left. Trying to think if there's any other questions that I've seen out there in the community recently. One of the things that I guess I could put out there is we've made a lot of changes as a company. We've brought in a lot of new people. We will continue to do that next year. We have a vision for where this industry is going, and we're building towards that vision. So as I said before, change is a certainty. We're going to see a lot of people coming into the space, and just as staking was revolutionary, just as DeFi was revolutionary, just as NFTs was revolutionary, 2022 is going to have its own revolution, and we're going to be there for it. So that's where I think we need to be invested as a company. Speaking of 2022, we've been a little trepidatious about a roadmap, trying to show specifically where we're focused. That's going to be changing in 2022. We have a vision that stretches out quite a bit further than a year, which is great. We have really good partners that can step in and give us the support that we need, which is awesome. And because we had a very cautious and successful 2021, we're set to power ourselves. We don't have shareholders. Not a lot of companies can say that, but we don't have any debt. We're totally self-motivated, and we're not reliant on token price to be successful. So we're going to be here. We're going to be building, and we're going to be building in a future. So investing in what that future will be is our number one priority today. I guess that's kind of all that I have. I don't want to stretch this on any longer than is necessary. So any questions, feel free to post them. So this is a good point. Param Aurora posted a really good comment talking about taking advantage of market sentiment. UNIFI price going up is the best type of marketing. Yes, it is. We say this, our team says this too. We say this internally constantly. It certainly is. It's not something that we can't like dictate where that'll go, but you're 100% right. It definitely is. Trying to drop in big releases and fundamentals while the market runs hot. Yeah, that's a great idea. We have not been structured to do that, to take advantage of those types of things. So we're trying to build a company that can next year better take advantage of that, and that takes people and time and careful planning, etc. So that's a good point. Just talking about what our goals are today, I would not put TVL, liquidity, things like that as top goals today. Our focus today is awareness. We're looking to branch out, spread onto as many blockchains as we can, establish ourselves as reputable, strong communities that are basically here to support blockchain itself, and build a good reputation on our on how we behave. That's why we go in there. We provide the best staking rewards that we can, and we don't change it. We say we're going to give out or do an AMM with no transaction fees, and we stick by it. So building a reputation is our focus right now. Building awareness is super key. the more people that are aware of us today as a company will be there when we transition next year. So that's great, and we're looking forward to it. So yeah, I totally agree. Unifi price goes up, and a lot of people come in. They get introduced to us. They see who we are, how we work. The fact that we like to be very direct. The fact that we like to partner with blockchains. We're not competing with other blockchains. We tend to be agnostic there, and yeah, that's great. It's a great way to build or expand that awareness. So with that being said, guys, I think I'm going to cut it off here. This was a fantastic chat. We're going to try and do these every week. The holidays are coming up. Maybe a little bit of a challenge here and there, but they will certainly continue in 2022. And I expect they're going to get better from here. This is the first time we've done one on YouTube. So I see these looking up from here. So with that being said, guys, thank you all so much for coming out. I really appreciate it. Please gather questions for next week, and I'll see you all then.